Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Marcie, Besecker, an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I'm from Clovis, California. Thank you for joining me today. It is super early for me. I normally am not on until the evening, but my grandson is in the championship for his basketball game, and it is tonight. So I will be there watching him and cheering him on for his basketball game, and he's super excited about it. And so today I thought, okay, I'm going to just have to come on early and do my video for you. We're going to do this card here today. And there's some fun tips and tricks about this that I'm going to share with you. And those of you that did bingo in July, this is your thank you card for your participating in bingo. And so this is what is going to be called the bonus card in your project kit. As I mentioned before, and I'm going to stop mentioning this, but I'm just going to kind of explain it for the daytime viewers maybe that I'm going to be getting, is I used to do my cards and do my thank you cards and put them in the kit as thank yous. And I write on them and thank them for participating in the class. Well, I decided, why not create the kit and give an extra kit? Number one, to be honest, it saves me a ton of time so I could start my next bingo or classes or whatever. But I've heard back from a lot of you that you would love that idea. And so that's what I started doing, is throwing an extra kit in there for you to create a project. So this is my thank you to you. But I'm still going to do it live on my regular video like I always did with my thank you cards. So that is where we're coming from today. Hi, Heather. How are you? Hi, Marie Jose. How are you from the Netherlands? Welcome. Hi, Becky. How are you? So I also wanted to kind of get an idea about doing a daytime video. I normally don't do daytime. I'm usually crazy busy during the day, and in the evening it kind of works for me, but I'm not against doing a daytime video. So I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments. Come back, because sometimes it's hard for me to see all the comments on the side, although I can come back to those also. But let me know your thoughts if you would like a daytime one, or possibly switching maybe one of my evenings. I have thought about that too, because I realized that I do Wednesday nights at 5:30 and Sunday nights at 5:30, and that's a lot of church nights for people. Some people go at night instead of in the morning on Sunday, and so I just kind of wanted to get your feedback from that and see what might work for everybody, what works best. All right, and I am in California, so my evening time is later evening on the East Coast. So that's 8:30, and so that might be kind of late for people. So I'm just kind of trying to gauge maybe a different day, or maybe adding a different slot once in a while or something. So anyway, I would love to hear your feedback on that. All right, so again, I'm just going to jump right into my announcements that I have. I have my August bingo, which is open for registration. And so you just go to my blog right there. At the top, it says bingo classes, PDFs, things like that. Just hover over that and then select what you want to look at. And you'll see all my classes that I have available, my bingo, and different things like that. If you scroll down just a little bit on that menu, you'll see where it says PDFs and video links only. And that is usually where I have my classes that have sold out, the kits, but I save the PDF and the video link, and I save that there for a smaller fee there, so that you can get those classes still. You won't get the kit, but you'll still get the PDF and the video link for you to do. Hi, Joan. Oh, good. Well, that's something to, to take your time away, is watching a video while you're waiting for the doctor. Thank you. The next thing is my sunrise sailing class, and I have put some little snippets of the projects. I did review, I mentioned that there were some fancy folds in that. When I went back and looked at the projects I created, 4 of them are fancy fold, and one of them is a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 card that came out of our Memories and More pack. Honestly, when I went and looked at the Memories and More pack online, it said the card size was 4 by 6. I might have an older pack, because I had a lot of them, And so that's why I decided to use those. And I realized maybe that's our older one because it's 4¼ by 6¼ So, but here's some sneak peeks, a little bit of what the cards are looking like. I have a lot of techniques and fancy fold and different things with this class. So this is really going to be a great class. There's going to be die cutting and some stamping in there, some embossing. You'll notice I did add the Soft Wave 3D embossing folder because I do use that in this class also. And so those are the two things that I recommend, is the Sunrise Sailing bundle and the embossing folder. Of course, if you purchase those two items from me, the class will be free, but you still need to register. And then also don't forget, I do know that the Sunrise Sailing bundle is not available right now because it is out of stock. I want to say back ordered, but out of stock. But you can still register for the class and just let me know that you're going to be purchasing it, and then we'll keep an eye on that. This class will not mail out until September the 2nd. So I say the 2nd because I believe the 1st is a holiday, or maybe it's right around there. Right after the holiday, I'll get that mailed. And to be honest, the kits are already done, so it may go out early. So anyway, there is that. Let's see what else. Paper pumpkin. We have a great paper pumpkin coming up. Farmhouse floral, and you get an extra stamp set, which is super cool. So, and then don't forget to add your Hugs a Bloom add-on dies. If you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you can get those. And last but not least, I just wanted to let you know really quickly that Stampin Storage, I just want to thank everybody for your orders. I am an affiliate. I have a link below in my description. So I just wanted to kind of give a thank you to you for purchasing through me. All right, so let's get busy with our card. So this is our card. I thought it was really cute. I've got some embossing. We're using some adhesive on here, adhesive sheets. And so when you get your kit, it's going to look like this. And we're going to put everything on the top to the side. So I like to start my cards in the inside. So let's go ahead and do that. I made this one nice and simple. We're just doing our white panel here that's 4 by 5 1/4. And then our gorgeous grape panel is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. A lot of times I might add a DSP inside or something. Because this was bingo, I do as little stamping as possible. But if you have this set, you can use, some flowers here, some leaves. And this is the set here. It is a great set for using all the different types of flowers. And there's a lot of different kinds. But this is the Sweet Bloom. And you know what? I didn't pull the right stamp set or the die set. But I used these dies, but this stamp set for the words, and I didn't pull that stamp set out, sorry, or the die set, the correct one for this. I just pulled the one for the flowers. But anyway, so we're going to do the inside like that, and super simple. Let's take our 2 panels. We're going to adhere this right on top of here with some dimensionals. So for bingo, I try to make the cards as not as simple. I don't do them super simple, but I like to use as many dies as possible. Oops, I'm going to move that over a little bit. Oh, okay. Because I can't assume that you do have this stamp set. So even though I have a day and it is out of the stamp set, you might say lovely, and you could have a different, have a lovely birthday or a happy lovely birthday, whatever. You can choose to add that if you don't have the stamp. And or you can use everything else and use the lovely for something else if you don't have the stamp set. All right, so we're going to layer that up with dimensionals, and now we're going to glue this on and glue this in. It's funny, I just I have an issue with trying to make super simple cards. A lot of people say that, oh, well, you could just, you know, send DSP with a circle and, you know, whatever, and make it super simple, and I just can't do that. All right, this is way off because I'm forgetting that it's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, so I need to move it over. And I like to do it on the bottom, but I need to look at both sides and make sure it's even. There we go. Much better. All right, now we'll do this one. And when I do things on the lighter color, I like to put my silicone mat underneath. It's easier to see centering. Whereas if I was on the white and I'm trying to center, it's just harder to see the white in person with the glare and everything. So I just think, hi Terry, this is live. I love Stampin' Stores too, Heather. It's really a furniture. To me, it is, you know, a lot of people go, oh, I don't know, it's kind of pricey. Trust me, I tried everything else with ribbon holders, punch holders, paper holders, and finally I bit the bullet and I did the ink holder and the paper holder first. It was the best decision I ever did. It was just so nice to have something secure. You know it's not going to go anywhere. All right, so let's count our things here so you know what we have. So we have our leaf by itself, and then we have our leaf that's going to hold our flowers. You want to make sure you have 3 flowers. So we're going to have this one, and this one, and this is how I put them. Okay, so the larger one I put towards the top, the one that kind of has the petals going that way on the left, and I put that one on the right. I have adhesive on these 3 pieces, okay, and these are going to go like this. So this one I believe goes here, this one goes on the large one, this one goes on this one. So I'm just going to lay those out right there so you can kind of see that's how we're going to do them, okay. And then you should have your 3 gems, a large and 2 small. We're going to have a little white piece, which is going to be our sentiment. But right now we're going to work on our lovely, which has adhesive on the back. And I don't always add, is it your birthday, Tishana? Happy birthday, 51. I know, Terry, you don't get to see me live very often because it's usually in the evening. And I mentioned that at the beginning that I might try and start doing a daytime one. We'll see. I'm trying to decide. I don't know that I want to add another one, but I might adjust to do a couple during the daytime. We'll see. All right. It depends on how my day schedule starts working out. All right. First, of course, we need glasses because otherwise I'm going to put this lovely on here and it is not going to look good. So there we go. We have our adhesive off. Let's go ahead and lay this. So I'm going to grab this kind of like where the V, between the V and the E, so I can get my L to go on right where I want it. And then I just slowly do a letter at a time. Be careful because this will stick very firmly to your hand. You don't want to rip your word. All right, now I'm going to do that. So just work your way down. Of course, you can use your pokey tool or whatever to hold on to it. And then I'm just going to make sure the top of my Y, right, is right inside where I want it. Because this part right here is easily moved. And so you just want to make sure it's right where you want it. And actually that part, the tail, is even laying right where I want it. And so now I'm going to bring in my pokey tool so I can just kind of slide this into place where I want that. Okay, and it just lays right there. And that's the ombre glimmer paper that I put underneath, and everything's listed. All right, so there's that. Now let's go ahead and do our flowers. Let's take our adhesive off the back. in my sunrise sailing class, I'm even sending out some masking paper. We're doing some masking. It's going to be a great class. A lot of techniques and tips and tricks. Okay, so there's that one. All right, come on. Yeah, I didn't mean for that whole class to pretty much be fancy folds. It just kind of worked out that way. All right. There we go. These are so pretty. Every time I use purple, I think, oh, I don't use purple enough. I need to start using more purple. I think tonight a lot of people are going to come to the video and go, wait a minute, she was already on? And that is the benefit of subscribing and clicking on your notification so that you know when the people you enjoy watching are going on, because sometimes we have to change our schedule. And of course, I get the phone call, Ani, are you going to be able to come to my game? So you guys, I might have mentioned already that my son was going to Washington and they borrowed our motorhome. And they're taking the 2 boys and the dogs. They have a golden doodle and a schnauzer. And they were taking them to Washington to go visit my daughter-in-law's parents. And while the motorhome was here and my daughter was staying in it, visiting us, we pull it out front, and they were staying in it. Well, the second day the air conditioning went out. Of course, that's a week after our house air conditioning went out. All right, so we're just going to glue these. So we're going to glue this one. And I kind of glued the big one first because I want it to go on top. So let's just move that here and lay this on here. But then I can't see the one underneath as well, trying to glue it, so this works out. And so anyway, they took the motorhome, they left, and my husband said I would get roadside assistance, because we've taken it to Oregon once, because remember we bought it during COVID. We have not used it as much as we would like yet, but my husband is retiring in January, so we will be using it more. Okay, so I'm going to use the have a and day, so have a lovely day, and I'm using Blackberry Bliss. Anyway, so they start the trip. They did buy the roadside, because our roadside, of course, helps us, but not people using it, borrowing it. So anyway, they get it, and they get up there, no problem. Everything's fine. Oh, backing up, the air conditioning went out on it, so we got it fixed like the week they were leaving to go. We were able to pick it up on Friday, and they took it on Saturday. Well, they're on their way home. They're a half hour into the trip, and my son calls us and says, we just blew a tire. And we're like, oh, man. And of course, my husband is the teaching type. Like, well, I'm bummer that it happened, but this is a learning experience. Like, he thinks everything's got to be a learning experience. And I'm like, they have 2 boys and the dogs, and they're on the side of the freeway, and they were literally a half hour into their trip. All right, so I want to put day. All right, so there we go. And a half hour into their trip, and they blow a tire. So they call roadside. They come, took them forever. The guy, it was 2.5 hours, and my son had to call back and said, you said 80 minutes out. We still don't see anybody. Anyway, hours later, finally, they ended up another contractor or vendor, whatever they want to call them, through Good Sam, called them and said, we're a half hour out, we'll come and get you. Well, anyway, then the guy said, you know what, I would definitely replace the tire, don't use your spare, and there's other tires that need to be replaced. Well, my husband just got the tires rotated from someplace in town, and the guy in town said, yeah, we rotated to the front, they're good to go, the ones in the back are fine. Well, they weren't fine. Anyway, long story short, it was a very long day for them, but they got home yesterday, and everything's fine, and they made it and all that. But it was kind of, okay, here it is. I cut some in half. I'm just going to use half ones here. We're going to pop everything up. So we're going to, I love using the half small dimensionals. So they made it home safe. Everything's fine. And, you know, when you're cutting these dimensionals, sometimes, like right here, I'll go a little to the right to make them a lot smaller. The ones on the left are a lot larger, but sometimes you get leaves that are just pretty skinny, or little pieces of whatever that you need. You want a dimensional on, but you don't want it hanging over so everybody can see it. So I just cut again and make it kind of small. Now I am going to put one closer right here on the stem and on that other leaf right there. So it was a long, long day for them, but they got home and everything is fine, but poor things. So Tashana, you didn't answer. I'm guessing it's your birthday. I just want to make sure. Hi, Julie. How are you? Paper Hugs. How are you? All right. So there's that one. So that one's got our dimensionals on it. So now we're going to go to this one so we can pop everything up. So I'm going to put my flowers right there. Now see how this one goes behind it? We can pull that out a little bit, but we're going to pop our piece up, and I'm going to go like right underneath. I want to make sure that that gets popped up, not just on the side. You want to kind of make sure that this gets popped up so they all kind of go, you don't want them laying on each other. All right, so let's go back here. Uh-oh. So yeah, lesson learned that drive back to where you came from. Go to the tire place and get new tires. So now my husband's like, well, at least we have new tires now and everything is good. Now when anybody goes, it's all taken care of. My granddaughter is getting ready to start her cheer in August, I believe, as cheer practice will start up again, and competition and all that good stuff. All right, I need another one. I want to put one here because it's going to be kind of, let's see. Oh, I might be able to use this little corner of this one here. Oops, not that. Nope. Okay, forget that. I'm just going to use a little snip off the edge here. This one. And put that right there. All right, so that's done. Now let's do our lovely and our have a day. I forget sometimes how using adhesive is so nice. Like doing this and the flowers. If you're cutting a bunch of them especially, you might as well. Saves you time putting them on. You don't have to worry about all messy glue in such small spaces. All right, so right here I'm going to cut this then right here. And so what I'm going to do is I take it off, then I'm going to take the bottom sticky off because I don't want to do it multiple times. I'm going to cut just a little piece right here. that. A little piece. Put that right there. Tiny piece. We don't need a whole lot up here, but I don't want my Y here getting caught on anything. And I'm going to do it right here. All right, and then I like to just make sure I'm not going to see it. Like I'm definitely going to see that one, so we're going to take that back off. I barely put it on there because I just wanted to make sure. We're going to cut this one in half. We'll put a little here. There we go. Move it in the corners there. And then we'll take this little guy here and put it up here. And I think that's plenty. Oh, maybe I'll put a little piece right there. There we go. All right, so that's good. And we'll put our sentiments on here. It's funny, I'm doing a video during the day instead of at night, and usually I'm like, okay, now I gotta go do dinner or whatever after my video, and today I'm like, oh, I'm gonna craft and come up with more fun stuff to do. All right, we're gonna put this up here. So I'm gonna start with this, and it's gonna go all the way up in the corner. After I get all these little tiny backings off. Have fun, Tashana. Happy birthday again. 51. Yeah, I do remember you being 50 last year. Big birthday. All right, here we go. Have a great day. All right. Notice I'm going to turn this in a little ways because I want to make sure it goes underneath my flowers. Okay, because we're going to put our flowers. I'm just kind of clustering that like it's just part of this flower. A little more greenery. Kind of fill up that empty corner up there. So when I do my cards for bingo, even though I try to simplify them by making them die cuts for the most part so that you have very little stamping, I do them as if I were going to send this card out. I'm not going to do them just because it's quick and simple and make it any less than what I would do my normal cards. All right, so I'm going to put this one underneath. I want that to be kind of on top. But let's take our lovely word here, and we're going to put that about there because I remember this having to go on top somewhat. All right, so I think this is good. We'll put that, and let's do our lovely neck so then we can put our other words around it. Thank you, Heather. Now, of course, I have all these. Oh, Terry, you're right. I am glad they had AC too. And they had a generator, so they could have done anything. They had to make arrangements and change where they were going to stay because my son was going to drive like 8.5 hours or something that day, and then they were going to stay at a park. And then they changed the park they were going to. So they were going to stay right up in California, down a ways, but they ended up staying a little farther up north. And I told him, I don't care where you are, and if you have to pull into a Walmart parking lot or whatever, you need to sleep if it's too much. Okay, so I'm realizing I didn't need to put this here, so I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to move it up because this is going to lay over the flower right there. So let's get another one and go to the top, like right there. And they can just turn on the generator and everything would be fine. So, but they were good. It wasn't too long after. All right, I don't like this one down here either because it's going to be glued. I'm taking that off. We'll leave that one on the top. We'll put a little bit of glue right here. That's too much. All right. I'm sticking everywhere. There we go. There we go. Much better. All right, so we're going to put that right there. So I'm on the card. This is glued, but there's a dimensional right there. This is the fun part about doing these cards, is I created them over a month ago when I was getting ready for my July bingo. So then it's like, try to remember. All right, I wanted to put this up here. I love doing words like this and finishing words with this. I just love the way it looks. I like it when they're small and black and white too. All right, we're going to put this one right here. All right, then all we have to do is add our embellishments on. So I'm going to take these. Again, everything's listed. This is the Purple Fine Shimmer embellishments. And I had made a bunch of these panels when I was working with the perennial postage before. So I had these two already made. And I was like, okay, I told you if I have some stuff in my stash, I'm going to try and use it up. Like I have a whole stack of these. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I am going to change up, do something with those. So that'll be coming soon. But there we go. So I just pull out these two that I already had. I maybe had to make a few extra for bingo, but I had a huge stack of them. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to use those. And so super cute and simple. I love that we did the adhesive on the words, and I decided, you know what, let's just do, if I'm going to die cut this with the Blackberry Bliss and add adhesive, I might as well do adhesive on these little purples too, because it's one die cut with one color. So that kind of worked out nice. And you'll notice that like the purple behind the Lovely, like this one's a little darker than this one because we used that ombre paper. So it's just wherever I used, not the lightest at the bottom, but I used anything that had the purpley towards the top. And so, you know, that color may vary just a little bit. I know a few of you get 2 packs of the kits. And so your glimmer may just be a tiny bit different. So anyway, there's the card for today. Oh, Heather, you've got to have the postage dies. I love them. Best phone call. Terry, you are right. You are right. I always love when my grandkids call. Yay, Sherry. It should be coming. Bingo was mailed out, so those are already gone and on their way. So that should be coming to you. And so I hope you enjoyed the card. I don't have any other sneak peeks for you because I'm not going to share my class cards. I don't share my class cards ahead of time. And I've actually heard from many of you that prefer it that way. So I did do a little sneak peek this time. I think my UPS man's here because I can hear Charlie and it's stamping up. Yay. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me early today. I'll let you know how the baseball game goes. Your mail center stinks. Oh, always short-handed. Isn't that the way? Well, hopefully you'll get it today. I do a tracking on my stuff, and so if you need me to track it for you and let you know when it's going to be delivered or when it's supposed to be delivered, I'll let you know. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Again, at the beginning, I had mentioned that if you prefer day over the evening, let me know. And I may try and stick a daytime one in there now and again. Evenings work for me the best, and I know today was a surprise and I didn't give much time notice. I always schedule it out, like, a half hour, or whatever I post my video. And so when you're on YouTube, it should tell you. But make sure you subscribe and click the little notification bell, because that's how you're going to get notified that I'm coming on early. And so hopefully you can see that. And I will see you on Sunday. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your week. Bye.